Yeah. Okay, bye-bye. I just started copy and pasting them like out of Premiere. So then when I realized you could do that, I was like, all right, that makes it easier. Because I didn't realize you could copy and paste them, and then you can like take it and paste it into Premiere, and it'll take me right to that spot. Wow.
And other reporters at my station, they would transcribe it on the phone, so like they'll play the soundbite and transcribe it, which is nice too.
Yeah. I got the news version of Premiere that can like transcribe it in Premiere, but I haven't been able to like get it to work out. I don't know why. It's kind of just always been my process. I kind of prefer to just type it out.
You know, they're talking about, well, this is way down the road, probably a couple of years or a year down the road, that they're talking about moving this to Premiere and all that cheaper than that is with the licenses and stuff. So I'm supposed to like get it this week or next week on my laptop and try it out and see how it is, to help everything and make a change.
I'm biased, I love Premiere, I've been on it since like 10 years now.
I can't remember what channel.
I mean, I'm sure as long as you've been around, you've seen it go this way, but I feel like, I mean, I've been like a career between like EMPS,
I like the fact you said it in that voice too.
Avid and Edis. I've switched between all of them, you know,
Yeah.
back and forth 12 times.
I've just had Avid, and we switched to Eddies, and we've had Eddies for years. And now we're looking at the Premiere. There's
I'm gonna go to 10:28.
more.
It's 10:28 to start.
Like, I felt like Avid was fine.
Yeah,
So we didn't have to set up, we were trying to go right at 10:30. And we were having issues with the sound, so.
How are you? Good.
These are box, but it was not working for anybody.
It could work for you.
We got wire.
We don't. You never know. That's right. Could be all you. Many people on Channel 3
Oh, I
will take
haven't.
the secrets.
Five.
It's your own.
Oh, okay. No, I couldn't.
I'll go to it. Not to let Linda buy my goodness.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so then after
Don't go into it. What's that? I saw it.
Yeah, that was a little off. You got your tablet again? You're the king, that's why we have you.
That and holding microphones.
That brought it up to 4,800.
48, 4,700.
Not 52, which inside is kind of weird.
Try it again.
My light was on 45, so I'll match it at 5.
He's changing his light color, 52.
No, I brought it up to 5, which is what it was balancing on. so
52,
that
I
should
keep
be
getting
good.
52.
52 now.
I'm still at 5, so I'm good.
I'm good.
Good?
Yep.
All right.
Everybody set?
Yep.
31, let's roll. 52.
All rise. There isn't no box, but we're having trouble with it, so if you want to say something about it. How's parking out front?
There is parking in the back for people.
With the authorized only, that's why we parked up front, too. We saw the authorized only.
I wouldn't bust you for that.
Busy day, veterans, anchor both sides.
That's great. Can't complain.
Couldn't make it 18 minutes.
We'll get started in a minute, we're just waiting on numbers.
I'm just gonna disconnect that. Yes, it's fine. Right? I don't want to screw you guys up.
Well, I was like, what is that noise?
Is everybody all set? All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning. My name is Chief Kelly Stillman, Chief of Police for the Cleveland Metroparks Police Department. I would like to take a moment just to introduce some very important people that are with me today. Chief Deputy Aaron Reese from the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department, Deputy Chief R.A. Pillow from the Cleveland Division of Police, our Chief Prosecutor from the Cleveland Metroparks, Marisa Marinella, and my Captain of Special Operations, Ken Shabitzer. I just want to take a moment to summarize the incident that occurred near Mill Creek Falls yesterday and provide you an update on our investigation. Afterwards, I'll be happy to answer any questions. Please bear in mind that this is an ongoing investigation, therefore, some details I may not be able to elaborate on. I just want to acknowledge the team's quick, successful apprehension of our suspect. When you think about it, from the time we got this call at 3:49 yesterday morning to the time the suspect turned herself in to the 4th District, about 7:39 last night, less than 24 hours, we had this dangerous suspect off the street and in custody. So nothing short of outstanding police work, to say the least. One thing that really helped us was our cameras and technology. This was instrumental in identifying the suspect vehicle, and then the successful arrest of this person. Just want to give you a brief summary of the day, how this all transpired. Timeline follows such as this. At 3:35 a.m., a call was made to the police by an on-scene witness. They called 911. 3:39, police were dispatched to the area of Mill Creek Falls. 3:49, the police arrived on scene. At 4:23 a.m., suspect vehicle identified by the RTCC, which is the Real-Time Crime Center. At 5:10 a.m., suspect vehicle located and seized, and the suspect identified as Lavia Paul. From 5:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., our detectives sitting right to my right processed the scene and interviewed numerous witnesses that were at the scene at the time of this incident occurred. At 3:50 p.m., an arrest warrant was issued for Paul. At 7:53, Paul turned herself in to the 4th District Police Headquarters in the lobby there. Some of the details that I want to just share with you. It is unknown how long the suspect and the victim knew each other. The entire group was made up of friends and associates. Leading up to the event, the group attended a picnic, headed to a local bar, and eventually gathered at the crime scene. Our parks all close within the Metroparks at 11 p.m., so they were there basically illegally after hours, but there's nothing that prevents anybody from coming and going to the park, so they were able to just get in there on their own. The victim died from a single gunshot wound to the head. The motive of this crime is still under investigation, and the weapon used in the crime scene has not been recovered yet. As we know, the suspect info is Lavia M. Paul, black female, age 23, residing in Cleveland. She has one cycle on her criminal history, which is a single child endangering arrest out of Euclid. And this morning she was arraigned, and a cash bond, correct me if I'm wrong, $500,000, was it cash or surety or just cash? Cash bond. I just want to impress that, you know, this was a collective investigation. That's why I've invited the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department and the Cleveland Division of Police. You know, when crimes such as this happen, we can't do everything alone, and we rely heavily on our neighboring departments. They call on us, we call on them, and that's how this really works as far as policing goes. You know, we don't tolerate this type of activity within the Cleveland Metroparks. We won't stand for it, and we won't put up with it. And when something like this happens, we utilize every resource that we have to make a successful conclusion. And I would challenge anybody to say that within 24 hours, we're able to identify a suspect and to make an arrest is truly outstanding. So that's how we serve everybody that comes down to recreate in the Cleveland Metroparks. There were 19.1 million visitors last year, probably be a lot more this year. And we do our best each and every day to make sure that they come to a safe and enjoyable environment. At this point in time, we'd be more than happy to answer any questions anybody may have.
Chief, were the suspect and victim both part of that same group that had been out throughout the course of the day?
Yes.
Can you clarify exactly where in the park this occurred? Where was the suspect or victim?
Well, if you're familiar with Mill Creek Falls, there's a drive that goes down into the main area, and then there's another drive that goes off into the parking lot. The suspect was located right in the middle of that drive.
In the middle of the drive that goes down into that parking lot?
Correct.
Okay. And do we know where? Never mind.
No problem.
Was there an argument, a fight, something that preceded the shooting?
As far as I know, there was really no altercation of any type. There was no loud screaming, yelling. People on scene said they just heard a gunshot, and next thing I know that the victim was seen laying on the ground.
Just out of nowhere, there was nothing that the witnesses have told you that led up to it?
At this point in time, yes, but the investigation is continuing, trying to dive into that to see if there is more that needs to be learned.
Did the suspect turn herself in with an attorney, and has she spoken to investigators?
The suspect turned herself in to the 4th District Police Headquarters in the lobby. She came by herself, and then she was interviewed back here at Police Headquarters. That interview process is still being reviewed.
Has she been able to shed light on what this was all about? Have there been claims of self-defense or anything like that at this time?
None at this time.
Did she own the gun, or where did the gun come from?
The gun has not been located, so I don't have any information on the weapon itself.
Chief, I know you mentioned that there's nothing stopping people from coming into the parks after hours. Is there any sort of like patrol that comes by to see if anyone's in there?
Sure, that is our jurisdiction, and we will get in there from time to time. Can't say when based on the officers' patrol techniques or what they do, but yes, that area is patrolled.
Any idea how long this group had been there?
There's about 30 minutes.
Roughly 30 minutes.
Did all the witnesses stay in the area?
Not all of them.
No.
One left.
I will defer to some of my detectives here to better answer those questions than I have answers for.
You guys are gonna talk and you come to the mic.
Yeah.
Sure. Detective, would you just come up and join me in case there's a, or Chris, either one. This is Detective Chris Ackerman and Detective Megan Wenzel and Detective Dave Lauge.
Through scanner traffic, it appeared that some of the conversations with the witnesses were referring to potentially a love triangle or ex relationships. Can you speak on that at all?
It's still being investigated.
Has the suspect been cooperative?
Last night, she refused to speak to the detectives.
Were there any cameras in the park?
No, but there is one directly outside of the park, and that is how the suspect vehicle was seen leaving the area.
Could you tell if there was a passenger and a driver in that vehicle, or just the suspect?
That's unknown.
Are you able to share where the suspect's vehicle was located?
No.
You said you're not sure of how long they had been acquaintances. Had they all kind of been out together throughout the course of that day, from the picnic to the bar to this? Or were people kind of coming and going? Just give people an idea of what the events were.
Everybody in the party that was there, that stayed on scene, or the people that were in the park after hours, they were all together for 10 to 12 hours. There was one individual who had been there who joined them later in the day, and he was with them for 8 hours.
You know what that initial picnic was? Was it like a work picnic? Was it just a group of friends?
Family.
So family picnic?
Mhm.
Do you have an indication that the victim or suspects were impaired or intoxicated at the time of this incident?
It's still under investigation.
Is there any relation between the victim and suspect, since it was a family picnic?
They know each other. And then that's as far as we are aware right now.
You're not sure how long they've known each other?
Hmm.
Do you believe they met that day, or had they known even prior to that?
They have known each other prior to just yesterday. They've known each other. As far as how they met yesterday, that's also under investigation.
Can you talk to us about what you're learning about the victim, whether she had children, what you're learning from her family about what she was like? How is the family responding?
We do know she is a mother. We do know she has children. And that's, as far as we know, she was loved by her family, loved by her parents. And it's unfortunate because she's obviously a mother.
When you told the family of the arrest, what was their reaction?
We did not talk to the family directly, so we don't know what their reaction was. Another officer was on scene when family arrived.
Any other questions?
Yeah, this is about the disturbance last night at Edgewater. What details can you tell us about that? We've gotten a lot of questions about that.
There was a disturbance last night at Edgewater. Group of unruly individuals came down, and then based on their actions, we had a quick and well-orchestrated response. It was necessary for us to ask for mutual aid from outlying agencies. I know the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department and one responded. Several arrests were made, and then we had to get everybody that comes down there, which is 99.999% of the people, for lawful reasons to get out of there in a safe manner. So there was a disturbance, but it was handled swiftly and well orchestrated.
How many people were there?
People as far as?
As part of how many were at the incident?
That I don't know, but as far as park guests, there were a lot.
Dozens, hundreds?
Well, I mean, are you familiar with Edgewater?
Honestly, no, I just moved here.
Okay, well, it's a very popular 5,000-acre park that has been turned into a gem by the Cleveland Metroparks. And a lot of people, including myself, utilize it quite frequently. It's beautiful, great shoreline, great amenities. Pretty much anything you want to do, you can find there. And for some reason, we're dealing with individuals that want to come down there and try and create chaos. We're familiar with it. We know how to address it and handle it, and that's what happened last night.
When you say create chaos and you use the word unruly, what were they trying to do?
That I don't know, but anything that brings the attention to the law enforcement presence, to me, is trying to create chaos. Just a term we use in police work, that people there for nefarious reasons, not there to recreate and enjoy what the park allows people to do.
What time did that occur?
I'm sorry?
What time roughly did that occur at Edgewater?
Oh boy, I'd have to look back, but again, I'm just guessing, John. Would be probably around sunset.
Have you guys increased, or has there been talk of increasing patrols after hours at some of these parks following what happened the other night?
Ever since last year, we've made, especially at Edgewater, East 72nd, Gordon Park South, we've made numerous advancements in technology and also our patrol tactics. That's just something we have to do to keep everybody safe based on what's going on in today's society.
Do you believe those patrol tactics and that technology helped solve this shooting as quickly as it did?
Yes, absolutely. Technology is our friend. Law enforcement anymore is technology-based environment, and we rely on technology, as you all do. I'm sure you're all aware. Social media is huge. We utilize every resource that's out there. Surveillance cameras, everything that we can do to properly and better identify suspects that create crimes and lead to a successful conclusion, such as yesterday. Yes, we rely on it heavily, and we utilize it.
Talk a little bit about that. You guys had the real-time crime video of her car leaving the park, correct?
Well, this is the, now I'm going to Deputy Chief, would you be able to better answer that, or do you want me to handle that? Thank you.
Go ahead.
And then this will be the final question, but if we need to talk off to the side. And I also do have an image that I can share digitally of the suspect as well.
Yeah, especially in the city of Cleveland, there are, I don't know how many, but there's hundreds of cameras. You see them all at the intersections with the flashing blue lights. This is exactly what is across the entrance from Mill Creek Falls. And that camera was able to identify the suspect vehicle entering and leaving the park. And from that, the timeline was able to be established, and somewhere along the line, we're still working on all the ins and outs, but a license plate was obtained, obviously. And then we all have license plate readers, address was identified, and then the officers went to that address or had a description of that vehicle and waited in close proximity. And that's how, as far as we know, again, and not until their report is done, that's how the car was identified. So
you were able to initially get that image off real-time crime camera and then kind of track her movements through license plate readers?
Well, we weren't personally, but somebody was. And again, I am guessing, based on my 45 years of experience, that that's how this all transpired. Somebody was able to look at that, analyze that. I know the Real-Time Crime Center has crime analysts working there, and then they did what they do so well, obviously. So it just goes to show you, when you think you're out of sight, out of mind, you're not. And this was very beneficial in this case.
The victim and suspect ride together to the park?
To the park?
Yeah.
I don't have any knowledge of that.
Back to the Edgewater disturbance, what charges are the people who were arrested facing?
We can look at that and get it to you.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.